In 180 AD, General Maximus Decimus Meridius leads the Roman army to victory against Germanic barbarians and earns the respect of Emperor Marcus Aurelius. The dying Aurelius decides to appoint Maximus as the temporary leader, even though he has a son named Commodus, and Maximus should eventually return the power to the Roman Senate. Aurelius tells Maximus about this and offers him time to consider this. Aurelius then tells this to Commodus, who gets jealous and kills Aurelius. Commodus declares himself as the emperor and asks Maximus for his loyalty. Maximus realizes that Commodus is involved in the emperor's death and refuses. This makes Commodus angry, and he orders Maximus's execution and dispatches guards to murder Maximus' wife and son. Maximus somehow escapes his execution and races home and discovers his family's burned and crucified bodies in his villa, which is also burned. Maximus buries his wife and son and collapses on their graves due to exhaustion. Slave traders find Maximus and take him to Zuccobar, where a gladiator trainer named Proximo purchases him. Since he is mad because of his family's death and Commodus's actions, Maximus initially refuses to fight, but eventually he had to fight to defend himself, and his formidable combat skills made him a star. As time goes on, Maximus becomes friends with Hagen, a Germanic barbarian, and Juba, a Numidian hunter. Juba becomes his close friend, and both of them speak frequently about the afterlife and Maximus' eventual reunification with his family. In Rome, Commodus reopens the gladiatorial games in his father's memory, and Proximo's company of gladiators are hired to participate. Maximus, who is wearing a mask, leads Proximo's gladiators to victory against a much stronger group of opponents in a recreation of the Battle of Zama and gains the support of the crowd. Commodus also gets impressed by Maximus, and he descends into the arena to meet the victors and gets shocked when he discovers that Maximus is the leader of Proximo's gladiators. Even though Commodus wanted to kill Maximus there, he was unable to do it because of the crowd's roaring approval for Maximus. The games continue, and Commodus pits Maximus against Tigris of Gaul, who is the only undefeated gladiator of Rome, in an arena surrounded by chained tigers with handlers who are only targeting Maximus. Maximus narrowly defeats Tigris in an intense battle and waits for Commodus' decision to kill or spare Tigris. Commodus votes to kill Tigris, but Maximus insults Commodus by sparing him. And in response to this, the crowd chants, "Maximus the Merciful," which angers Commodus. Commodus becomes more frustrated because he is unable to kill Maximus or stop his increasing popularity, while his own popularity decreases. After the fight, Maximus's former servant Cicero meets him and reveals that Maximus's army remains loyal to him. Cicero also tells him that they are camped at Ostia. Maximus then creates a plan with Lucilla, Commodus' sister, and Senator Gracchus to reunite him with his army and overthrow Commodus. But Commodus had suspicions about his sister's betrayal, so he threatens her young son and forces her to reveal the plan. On Commodus's order, Praetorian guards immediately storm Proximo's gladiator barracks, where they battle the gladiators while Maximus escapes. The guards kill Hagen and Proximo and imprison Juba and the other survivors. When Maximus reaches the city walls, he sees Cicero getting killed, and he is ambushed by a legion of Praetorian guards. The next day, Commodus challenges Maximus to a duel in front of a roaring audience. Since he knows that Maximus' skill exceeds his own, Commodus stabs Maximus with a stiletto and has the wound concealed beneath the gladiator's armor before entering the arena. In the arena, both of them exchange blows, and Maximus snatches the sword from Commodus's hands. Commodus asks his guards for a sword, but they betray him and refuse to give him their weapons. Maximus drops his own sword, but Commodus pulls a hidden stiletto and tries to attack Maximus. Maximus beats Commodus into submission and kills him with his own stiletto. The Colosseum suddenly becomes silent, and the dying Maximus begins to see his wife and son in the afterlife. He reaches for them, but the Praetorian prefect Quintus pulls him back to reality and asks for instructions. Maximus orders the release of Senator Gracchus and Proximo's gladiators. He also reinstates Senator Gracchus and instructs him to return Rome to a Senate-based government. Maximus then collapses, and Lucilla runs towards him to help him. Maximus reassures her that her son is now safe. He then dies and wanders into the afterlife to his family in the distance. Proximos gladiators and Senator Gracchus carry his body out of the Colosseum. That night, Juba, who is now free, buries Maximus 2 small statues of his wife and son in the Colosseum, and says that he will also join them eventually, but not yet.